Hey everyone, I'm back. So I was just hoping to do a Summer Wells discussion. I came on earlier and I had to leave. So I figured we'd see if anybody would come on and we could do a, back and forth conversation where you guys come on. Let's see if there's a way for me to, okay. Let me put it in the comments, the link. I'm not sure how to pin. But I can put it here in the comments to see if anybody wants to join in on the conversation on Summer Wells and discuss what you believe happened, because I want to be able to have an open dialogue without having any pushback from the hosts, because I have called in, I haven't called it in really on any other panels, but I have left comments and stuff, and you get kind of a shitty response. And I don't think, first of all, that's any way to treat any of your subs. But secondly, we're all speculating. None of us know what happened. So I would like to see everybody's opinion of who you think did it, or if you think Summer is still alive, or if not. My opinion is, at this point, I used to completely think that it was an accident and they were hiding it, and now that they're in too deep, they can't turn back now. I mean, they caused national havoc, actually universal havoc. So no way of going back now if they even wanted to, if it was an accident. And I think that's where most people were going for the longest time, until recently when this hoax call came about. And now we're 100% positive that this was a hoax call. And that's just not the behavior of people who have a child missing, so, you have to put yourself in the shoes of somebody who has a child missing. Would you be spending your time, doing hoaxes or calling, family that you don't get along with to try to play a joke? Or even, these ideas, if you've watched Cher on Voices Behind the Wall, when Dawn was wanting to come up with these stories and put it out there, just to, I wonder though, kind of, if, like I mentioned in the last video that I had to leave, if this was something done purposely, if now, because now it's got everybody. I mean, you think about it, when the whole $50,000 thing came out about the Mexican mafia, people were taking that serious and thought, a lot of people thought that was true, but you kind of wonder now if it's just all more bullshit put out by Dawn Wells just to, keep people guessing, if really that's a good tactic if you want to keep people, well, what is the truth? You know what I mean? And then if they kind of veer people off on the wrong direction instead of the truth, everybody's over here and the truth's over here, they're all focused on, the Mexican mafia and this $50,000 or drugs. And people aren't going to find the truth because they're focusing on the wrong thing. And you kind of wonder, it makes me wonder if it's like a tactic to keep us in the wrong direction. So let me see here. Oops, did I show? Okay. I don't know. I put that up there so that people hopefully come up and, talk with me. I was on a different, I left a comment the other day on this creator I really don't care for much, but I try to give her another chance because she does talk about some wells a lot, and if nobody else is on, I'll watch her. Well, she kind of has a very aggressive attitude, and she's very aggressive towards people she doesn't agree with. She's kind of one of those, like, I'm the queen bee here. This is my channel. And if your opinion is not mine, then I'm going to berate you and make you feel stupid for your opinion. Now, honestly, there are some very wacky, crazy speculations out there. But for something that's very reasonable and possible, I don't think it's right to berate your viewers on their opinions just because it doesn't go along with yours. When this is a person, by the way, who, especially during the Watts case, she came up with some crazy ideas, and she started this craziness about the cops being over at the wells, or the Watts. Sorry, God, now I get them confused. And she didn't have any proof. My thing is, she's lately been on this kick. We need to go on facts. But what we don't, it's pretty, I don't know. I think it's pretty obvious that, what facts do we have? Okay, so what can we go by as far as facts wise? We know that Summer is gone. We don't know where she is. We know, can we really say that they supposedly went swimming that day? We do know that they picked up prescription because I guess Chris McDonough has proof of that in this time. It was around 1:30 p.m. But really, we're all speculating on what happened. I know many people don't, believe in psychics and stuff. I wanted to show a little bit of this video of, her name is Reverend Donna Serafina, and there's proof out there. She was spot on with what's that, Kate? Or I know the kids' names were Tylee. The girl's name was Tylee. But she was spot on that about her predictions on that. And there's proof out there of these emails that she sent well before they were arrested. So I want to watch a little bit of that until hopefully some people come on. I know that AB just went live. So I'm assuming everybody's over there. But I want you to hear this. And let's see here. Let's go to. This is very interesting.
Okay, I'll just start saying what I feel. I feel like Candace has crazy making going on. I feel like Candace is very physically abusive. And what I seen earlier, I was seeing pedophile pictures, like photos taken of Summer. I've seen that twice. So I know there's a reading clip or two that I hadn't done before, and I am feeling rise in spirit energy, so I appreciate that. For some reason, I'm seeing John Bonet, and I'm seeing the blonde guy who lived in a trailer park or something like that. I don't know if the blonde guy lived in the trailer park or the guy who told on the blonde guy lives in the trailer park. I can't remember, but the blonde guy that was the suspect. Don't know why I'm seeing him. It seems to have to do with his haircut, and I wouldn't call it so much a mullet. Okay, so what they're showing, it could be that they're running me through all these characters because then they're going to show me which ones it's not and stuff like that. So I'm not seeing the person doing anything wrong. And I got chills on my legs. Yeah. So I think they're just kind of acknowledging all these different things that people have been sending me. I feel like some sort of candy cane house or gingerbread house. I mean, I see a gingerbread house, but I feel like calling it the candy cane house. And the reason I feel like calling it that is because like the doorways look like they're made of candy canes. And then the grandma comes into my awareness. Then they're showing me the Jose guy, and then they gave me the feeling of Candace making a dual deal where he could do something to Summer. And that might actually be what Dawn was actually mad about. Rather than Candace sex with Jose, it would be Candace selling Summer to Jose. I have this peaceful floaty energy, but I don't have chills on my legs about that, so I don't know if it's true now. I think I'll only on this put up anything on the internet if I have chills about it. I'm seeing things crossing over, like if you made a zigzag part in your hair and crossed it over, and it's not necessarily a zigzag thing in someone's hair, but I'm just seeing maybe a drawn or a pattern of that. So if there's a name of a pattern like that, or if it will come up, it's like, I'm sure it was never done in Summer's hair, but I'm not, yeah, I got chills. It was never done in Summer's hair. So, and it's not necessarily someone's hair either. It could be like on a drawing. It could be like a basket, handle. Could be anything, but there's a pattern about that. You know, when you, back in the 60s, we thought it was fun to take like the juicy fruit gum or the double mint gum and make those long kind of ropes where you folded the papers over each other. This is an actual clue. Surprisingly, I got chills on my legs. I don't know if it's the double mint or the making that gum thing. Yeah, that making that gum thing is actually a clue. It's a clue. Somebody will know what I'm talking about. It'll just come in somewhere. That's an actual clue. Okay. I'm just seeing this murder again, and it's really horrific. There's no point in me saying what I see. And I start saying, "Oh, I must," but men like to hurt little girls. They like to hurt them. There's no sex about this, or there's no pedophilia. They're thinking they're doing something. I can't say about what with Dawn, but with
So I'm going to pause that here. And so basically, what she's getting at right now is she is claiming that she sees that Summer was sold for like it's really, really, really horrible. It's way horrible than you could ever imagine. Not in sex trafficking, but for snuff film. And which, something put on the dark web that people pay to view somebody being killed, and in this instance, a little girl. It's absolutely horrible. And in her reading, she sees that they take her to first, like, I don't know if she said Zon or Candace takes her to a like fair or like circus type thing, and she sees her on a carousel. So they're filming this. So they're filming her as a regular girl, and it's part of this like sick fantasy weird thing that people like to see on the dark web, who like to see little girls hurt or whatever. And so they're showing us a little girl and playing and stuff. And then, supposedly, and I don't know, this is the question I asked the other day on Natasha's live and was so rudely I don't know. I don't think it's that. I asked, I've always been curious what was the prescription that was filled that day, because I think it's very relevant. And, and Cher was on panel and stuff, and she said something like, that is illegal, people. No, it's not illegal, okay? It made me second guess myself at the time it happened, because I was like, well, maybe it is illegal. But I was like, other people in the comments started saying, no, it's not illegal. Like, if it's something that was told to you, like what prescription was filled that day, and you repeat it, and you're not a medical professional, and then you're not breaking HIPAA laws, okay? So if, and I really don't care exactly. I was more wanting to know if that was opiate or what kind of, I think a lot of people assume that grandma was given some type of pain medication that day, because she, is older and her knee hurt and she went to the hospital. But, they are very, very strict about giving out medications nowadays, like when you go to the hospital, or even if, but, she is an older lady and stuff, so maybe it would be easy. But I kind of wonder if that was all part of the plan, getting this prescription or whatever. Because in this reading, Donna says that she sees that she mentions something about sedating Summer, to hopefully make the process easier on Summer of her getting killed. I mean, it's horrible. But even before hearing this, I've always been really, really curious of what prescription was filled that day. So, and after, I was just like, Natasha, I even, if somebody donates money to you and stuff, and on their chain, you should be very grateful for that money. I sent her $5. It was just $5 or whatever. but her reaction to my question was so rude. And it wasn't just that one time. Like, there was a previous time. She doesn't like to, she should or can dish it. She's one of those people that can dish it but can't take it. You know what I mean? She's just like really rough around the edges. It's not somebody that, her personality would definitely clash with mine if I knew her. Because I'm very, I'm just not aggressive like that. I'm sure I can get aggressive. I can, but I'm not going to attack somebody for their opinion or their question or whatever. Just not me at all. But anyways, so this is where she's getting with her reading. It's horrible. She mentions like something to do with like I said, a horse carousel or a carousel. That's mentioned a lot. And, essay is mentioned a lot, but I guess we could continue until I get, hopefully, maybe some people in here that would like to come up here and speak a little bit on this case. But I just like this reading, so.
Who is hurting Summer this bad right now? I mean, don't get me wrong. I see. I actually used to monitor sex offenders in the community, which I understand about Don Wells. But what I'm just talking about now specifically is isolating this final incident. And I got a rise in spirit energy about that. And Jackrabbit runs so fast. They're showing me specifically, I'm seeing putting the back feet before the front feet before flying, jumping through the air. That's how they run so fast. I didn't get any chills with that, so I'm not going to upload it. I'm not going to upload anything unless I get chills. Or at least a wave of spirit energy. Because I don't want to be accusing people of things. I just don't. Can I get the spirit energy if Summer is deceased? Well, what I'm seeing is my daughter holding Summer on her lap. She's hugging her. Summer's bare feet. And dirty, and she's trying to show somebody something. Candace and Don both abuse Summer, both of them. Okay. And Grandma knows exactly what's up. I just feel like Grandma totally knows. And she also blocked me. I messaged her and she blocked me. And I just feel like, you know what? When people have something to hide, that's why they don't want a psychic around. Are you kidding me? If your 5-year-old was missing and someone offered to help you, right. Something to hide. They always have something.
That's one thing I wanted to speak on. I don't care like how religious you are or if your kid is missing, you're going to take whatever help you can get. I don't care if it's a psychic or what. And what was Don's response to psychics? It's like, oh, that's of the devil or whatever. I think desperate times calls for desperate measures. So I don't know. I mean, I'm sure maybe there is some people out there that would be, because their religion would not take psychic help. But I don't know. I feel like Don Wells is definitely not one of them. Okay. Like, come on, the whole religion front, that's just a mask. That is not him. He's I mean, I think it's very commendable for people who, do change their lives around, who have been hardened criminals in the past or made horrible decisions or had addictions or whatever. And people are able to change. But, actions speak louder than words, and that is just not. Don hasn't changed. He's the same horrible person he's always been. I mean, come on, guys. Like, this isn't just about Don, but look at how much sexual abuse runs in that family. Have you seen anything like that? I think that just shows you how that it is like, something learned from your environment. I mean, I'm sure I know there is a little bit of, that nature nurture thing. I think that there is a little bit of your, brain issues going on too. I think that just because you were sexually abused or were around a bunch of pedophiles growing up, it doesn't mean that you're going to become one necessarily. But look at the generational abuse in that family on both sides, like Candace's side and Dawn's. So no wonder, no wonder like Candace like turned a blind eye to this type of stuff. And she doesn't think it's a big deal. Now, I guess we can't say that Summer was sexually abused for sure, but we do know that Candace turns a blind eye about it. I mean, look at her reaction when she was in the background of the call with Dawn and Chris McDonough, when Dawn called and was like, "Oh, you lied on me," and he was trying to downplay the sexual abuse between him and his stepsister, Jeannie. And Candace was in the background just talking about how Chris was a dumbass and all of that. But I mean, like, I've seen other people on in the comment sections and stuff like that too, like downplaying it, like, "Oh, you were a kid." Okay, we're not. It would be totally different. I don't know. I guess I don't know how I would feel like if he was actually, let's say it happened like a couple times when Dawn was like 12 or 13, 14, whatever. And, Jeannie was 5, 6, or 7, whatever. And it stopped. Like, as he got older, he realized it was wrong and it stopped. That, I guess that would probably be different. I don't know. I think it's just so disgusting. I mean, I have a daughter who's 13 and I don't know, but this continued until he was like 18, 19. You know what I mean? You can't tell me that by the time you're 18, 19 years old that you want to realize that, messing with an 11-year-old at 18 years old would be 11. So she is 7 years younger than him, like 11, prepubescent, had not had her period yet, was not yet a woman, like, ew. There is just the sexual abuse on both sides, like, bad. And I was thinking, like, trying to think of my family, like, of one person, and I can't think of one person at all who, even distant relatives, like, and if there isn't one in your family, I'm not that doesn't say anything about you or anything. I'm just saying, like, because I was just trying to think, like, how rare is that to have so many sex offenders in one family, or, those who have been accused. Okay, because, like, Don's not a convicted sex offender yet. So, and, and also we got, was it Don's stepdad, or, yeah, his stepdad, right? Or something like that. He was sexually abused too. So that's another person. And Candace's sister or brother, who was actually institutionalized because he was. So would that be, or Candace's uncle? So is that Candace's mom, Grandis' brother? So was Grandis also sexually abused? Probably, because, I mean, usually these people can become these pedophiles because they were sexually abused. And so if I mean, it's been all around Candace and Dawn their whole life, so that's just become normalized. I don't know. It's crazy. But let's listen a little bit. I guess we can continue to listen a little bit more of this.
Something to hide. Grandma has something to hide, and that's called knowledge. I'm seeing Candace to go, or not Candace, the little girl. Candace helped little girl on the horse thing. And the carousel. Okay, so here's my alternate. And I'm being shown my alternate, so I'm not sure why. But my alternate is she was dying or in the early stages of death. And I know experts said, no. But I mean, she could have just took her last breath 5 minutes before that, or else being slowing down of the heart, where she's like, to me, I got a little spirit energy on my leg. Slowing down of the heart. So did she have dry drowning? If she did, it feels like if Candace handed her off to Dawn, and Dawn had the opportunity to have sex with her while she was still warm, would he? Yes, I feel like he would.
Probably sicko.
I have some weird spirit energy too. It's like weird spirit energy. It's the abyss. It's just the abyss. I asked Nicole if she's there to bring me to a memory, and then I got a wave of spirit energy. And the memory was when she was in first grade. This couple moved there, but the man was, I don't know if he was in the military or a business, but he was gone from home for periods of time. And I got chills on my leg. So the woman abused the kids. Like, she couldn't handle being there with 4 kids or whatever. I didn't know this I let my daughter play there. I left her there for an afternoon. I mean, it's just shocking. I don't know if my daughter told me, but I acted really nice to this other little girl all the time at school. And the other little girl had bruises on her face before. And then I said, like, oh, what happened or whatever. And then she said her mom hit her. And so then I went all over the school demanding them to do something, to call the police, to call CPS, to get those kids out of there now and stuff like that. And they kept shining me on. And finally I got so insistent. I was like, almost yelled at them. I was like, if you guys don't do something, I'm going to call the police myself right now. Stuff like that. And finally the principal took me into his office. and told me they didn't want to tell me, but they already called the police. They already called CPS. The CPS is going over there. They're probably going to remove all the kids from the home, or they're in the process of all this. And yeah, so I got like this chills on my legs. So CPS is in the process of removing all these children from the home. Huge chills on my legs. And Summer's going to be gone anyways when they find out what we've been doing to her. We'll lose all the kids. Okay, it's kind of going away. Okay, so they showed me this one thing about this little girl. The interpretation I would get would be that people can rest assured that people have reported this. People have reported, like, say, Robin or whoever, people have reported what they know. Whoever, friends, whatever. It feels like Dawn is saying, we got to get rid of Summer. We can't keep her around. Like, we're going to lose all the kids. It's like both of them, but Summer brings up the idea. I mean, Candace, that's how it feels to me. And it feels like I feel spirit energy, but I don't have chills. So, okay. That's Dawn's primary fantasy age. And for the next 5 years. So if he could get away with it, why would he get rid of his daughter when he just has his fantasy right there? At his discretion and disposal, right? He's got a wife that grew up being abused, a grandmother that probably grew up being abused as well. They're very aggressive people. They just have no mercy on this little Summer. Like, I got a wave of spirit energy. Kind of a chill on one leg there. I'm seeing a kitchen. I don't know if it's a kitchen, but like anyways, I'm seeing like the refrigerator. I know they said JJ was on top, but I see the girl on top. I see Summer on top of the refrigerator. She was hard to handle, and Candace didn't like the constant. It just feels like Candace whacks her across the head all the time. Feels like the Candace is the leader about getting rid of Summer. And one excuse she has is Dawn's fixation on her. Another excuse she has is the CPS investigation could reveal massive sexual abuse, not just by Dawn, but by Candace. And Candace selling her to people like Jose or whatever. So you have this man camping across the street watching the family. Why would he shave his head and his beard except for to not let them get his hair follicles? And if he went back to his wife's house, did he shave his pubic hair and his arm hair and his leg hair also? I have a sick feeling in my stomach. I don't have any chills. Could this man have done this? See, the thing is, Summer was for sale, just like Dawn's Facebook profile. Who would put this obvious glaring, this is a pedophile for sale signal, this red barrel that says for sale, and then she has Summer dancing in the rain? What the hell do we think it means? Yeah, I got chills again. Mama sold her daughter to pedophiles.
Oh, God. I don't know. What do we think about that? That video where Summer is dancing in the rain with that. It is pretty. I mean, I guess a normal person wouldn't think much anything about it. They would just say, "Oh, it's a little girl playing in the rain." But for, I guess, pedophiles, like, I guess it could be a signal to, you know, you gotta put, it is creepy now that I know that that's some type of weird signal to pedophiles and stuff. And, you know, when you see how little feelings or connection that Dawn and Candace seem to have to their daughter. I mean, they don't show any or at all emotion for her and stuff. Like, I mean, is it possible? I mean, they would have sold their daughter to sex trafficking, or even, I mean, for some type of weird film for the dark web. I mean, by their actions that we've seen over the past, 2.5 months, I think it is possible. I mean, what do you guys think? Let's see what's going on some other channels here so we can comment on them. Here's one of my favorites, sarcasm. I hope you.
Well, Annette Lepore, goodbye, hun.
Consents.
Why are you here? I'm not complaining, and I'm only rude to people who are rude. So.
Not true, bitch. You're fucking rude to people just who don't have the same opinion as you. Continue.
Bye-bye. Thanks for waiting 5 minutes and joining in order to make a rude comment. Yeah.
Funny how the first second that we turn her on, I say, wait, I noticed nobody's watching right now, but this is my first go-round here with StreamYard and going live on YouTube, really. Funny how we just turn her on. I mean, the odds are that we would turn her on and she would have this, like, piss-poor aggressive attitude, because she's always like that. I mean, so basically, anytime that you turn her on, more than likely you're going to get this, like, crazy lunatic. She sounds mentally unstable. I mean, almost narcissistic, but I can't understand why she would be narcissistic, because, I mean, but, you know, because she thinks that she doesn't will not admit when she's wrong. She has a hard time admitting when she's wrong unless it benefits her in some way. She has a hard time accepting other people's opinions at all. Like, if they go against hers, like, she treats you like you're an idiot. I mean, I don't know. I'm okay if anybody that's watching this likes her and stuff, but I've tried giving her a chance because sometimes she does have some cool videos and stuff and has some cool ideas. But I don't know. I just, after how she treated me in the last couple lives that I had questions on, I just, and how I've seen her treat others. Yeah, let's continue.
Not today, Shug. Not today. And that's another thing. Oh, Cameron, honey, I know that. I know. You don't have to say you're sorry. I know. And that's another thing. You know, I'm loud. I'm loud, and I'm not rude. I'm blunt. I'm blunt,
no, you're
and I
fucking
am
rude,
point
dude.
blank about a lot of things. And I am not everybody's cup of tea, unfortunately. Or fortunately, whichever way you want to look at it. But what I am is thorough when it comes to these cases. I look at everything. And I'm also very, very observant. Red Hot Amanda, I understand completely. I understand that completely. Trust me, I do. It's not just this case. It's a lot of cases. It's a lot of cases. But what everybody needs to understand is not everybody is the enemy. And just because someone is talking bluntly about a subject doesn't mean that they are meaning offense.
It's just not just because you're talking bluntly about a subject. It's how rude you are to others. It's the words you say. It's not just the volume of your voice. You're extremely aggressive. Extremely aggressive. And you make people, you try to embarrass people who come on with because of their opinions, and for a lot of times for opinions that are very reasonable. So I mean, and I've seen you come up with, you talk about wild speculations, I've seen you come up with some bullshit like crazy. What about this is what I brought up in her live the other day that pissed her off, because I just saw the hypocrisy. So I was like, what about when she told like all of YouTube that, oh, there was cops at Chris Watts' parents' house and stuff, and she had this inside information, and and she was so obviously wrong. It was such bullshit. People, we're all human and we all make mistakes, but it's all about like owning your mistakes and learning from them. But she doesn't obviously learn from them because you can't learn from mistakes if you're not willing to listen to others and, grow. If you need to take the cotton out of your ears and stick it in your mouth and listen sometimes, because that's the only way we learn.
And that is one reason why I usually, and I'm about to do it now, this is why I have my email and my phone number normally scrolling across my screen. Because if you think that I say something that's out of the way, or if you think that I'm being rude, whatever, if I take something that you say the wrong way, please reach out to me, because that is not my intention at all.
Yeah, because when they do reach out to you and do bring it up to you, you're a total bitch about it. Like I can imagine me calling you and being like, hey, I super chatted you the other day and you didn't say thank you. Actually, no, it was quite the opposite. You were a rude bitch about it, and I asked a very reasonable question, and you gave me this sarcastic response after, I just sent you money. I mean, of course, obviously she would be, I would say it nicer, okay? But I'm just have a sarcastic voice for it right now. But even if I were to tell her my concerns, I guarantee you, and I mean, just because I don't care for somebody or whatever, I'm totally willing to, say, oh, they're, I can agree with certain things they're saying. It doesn't mean I'm going to disagree with everything she says. So let's just continue to listen, see if there's anything I can agree with. I'm sure there is. Let's listen.
At all. What I am is passionate, and I am passionate about the cases that I choose to research and look at. And I'm very passionate about this case because it is a shame, an absolute shame.
Oh, let's just remember too, she just started watching this case admittedly just like a week ago, okay? And she acts like all knowing. Like, you have only been into this case for a week. Many of us, like myself and others who broadcast, like, you're the only one of these broadcasters that have been only into it for a week that have this attitude like they know everything, okay? There's no way in a week that you've watched all the information that us people who have been watching it since the beginning. There's no way that you can watch all the lives, and there's not enough hours in the day for you to have seen all the videos that I've seen and all the videos that others have seen that's been into this case. There's no way. Okay. So why don't you listen to what others have to offer?
Thank you, Blanca. It is a shame at what this case has turned into and what it has turned creators into. Instead of focusing on what they can do to find Summer, they're focusing on what they can do to tear other creators down in order to get themselves more clout.
Oh, wow. This is coming from this girl is such a hypocrite. Oh my God. This is coming from the lady who has built her channel on being aggressive and being a rude bitch. Like, real, I'm sorry. That's not all there is to say about it. What about her panels or whatever she does where she imitates other creators, and everybody, I think some of them are funny and some of them are like, oh my gosh, I thought J.S. Verdestis did a great job imitating Critical K and stuff. But I'm just saying, you cannot, say something about others that you do yourself. That's the issue. She's a huge hypocrite. And that's my major problem with her, is her hypocrisy. I'm not saying I don't like some of these videos she's done where she has made fun of other creators and done these parodies. I think some of them are great. It's just the hypocrisy. Okay? Like, you sit there and every single video you have something to say about other creators, okay? Or every single video you're rude to your guest, okay? So that's why I have to call you out on that when you say, people build these on build their channels for, by attacking other creators. I mean, you do the same thing, okay? You're not like Miss Popular, okay? By the way, I mean, come on, come back down to earth a little bit. Your channel's under 4,000 subscribers, okay? I don't think like you need to have that big a head just yet, Miss Thing, okay? I mean, even if you had 100,000 subscribers, I still think it shouldn't like change you as a person. Like, none of us are better than anybody else, okay? So,
from it. And that's bullshit. There's room for everybody on this case, and all of us as creators bring different things to the table. We all do things differently, and there is nothing wrong with that. But what I want to do is help to find Summer, to make some sense out of all of the nonsense that this case has turned into. There's just no sense in it. And as I said when I first started, bedtime, absolutely. You know me. I mean, I am point blank and to the point. And, if my turtle gets ticked, I may say something that's going to piss somebody off. But, yeah. Johnny, I'm here. I'm just looking a hot mess tonight. Thank you, Laura. I try to make myself as accessible as possible to the people that watch me, because if it wasn't for the people who watch me, I wouldn't have a channel. Of course, I'm doing this for views. Anybody that says people are doing things for views, that is the most asinine comment ever. Anybody that has a YouTube channel is doing this for views. However, you don't have to compromise your morals to get views. You can talk about the case and do it in a respectful way. And if at any point I say something that you may not You know, okay. I don't want other channels mentioned in the chat. I said that from the beginning.
Oh my God, dude.
I just said that. Do not mention other channels. I've said that all day.
Why?
Because just because you think that a channel is
Why?
honest doesn't mean they are.
I want to know why. Why can't somebody mention another chat? It's one thing to advertise another chat. I don't get that. Like, I've seen a couple creators like be like, oh, don't mention the other creators. And I'm like, now I've seen, like, I saw somebody come on her live earlier that was basically advertising their own channel. And now that is super annoying, you know, using somebody else's like channel that they've built like for advertisement, like that's wrong. But just mentioning, you know, a channel, I don't understand that. But hey, I guess I'm just more, I don't know. We're talking about somebody here who's not very reasonable, so.
And Madison, quite frankly, that's a really good theory. There's a lot of good theories out there. And that's what I love about discussion groups. That's what I love about interacting with my chat and, you know, finding out what your ideas are, you know, because all of us have different perspectives because we have different experiences in our lives. So we're going to see things differently, and there's nothing wrong with that. And we can learn from each other. That is the absolute beauty of a discussion channel, and being respectful of everyone's opinion. We're all entitled to our opinions, but that does not mean that any of us are correct. Welcome, LFT. Yes, Johnny. This live is actually going to be brief. Well, Jessica Lynn, unfortunately, this family had issues way before COVID. Welcome, sure, Jan. You know, unfortunately, this family had a lot of issues way before COVID ever happened. And it's a sad situation all the way around for everybody involved, not just Summer. Not just Summer. It is a very, very sad situation. And I think that needs to also be taken into effect. And Robin, absolutely. You know, I take things, I start at the beginning and then work my way out. And that's exactly what I've done in this case. And it's astonishing to me how it just sort of spiraled out of control from the beginning. From the moment that Don opened his mouth, it was sent into a tailspin, and it has been a never-ending shit show since then. And COVID has been hard on families in general, and the amount of abuse allegations and things that have happened since COVID has been astronomical. You know, and the sad thing about this case is that there are very few things that have been alleged that we can prove. And that in and of itself is very troubling. Very, very troubling. Well, sure, Jan, you know, people tend to think that they were impoverished. They weren't. This wasn't a poor family. They chose to live this way. They had money. They had a brand new vehicle with a $600 a month car payment. This isn't a family that.
Well, I mean, yeah. Obviously, I think they just had a mismanagement of money. I mean, they're not rich, obviously. They're probably very low middle class. If their money was better allocated, if they would have spent, a couple thousand on I don't know. They could have got a nice vehicle for half that payment. But also when you're spending, I mean, I let me mention something here too. This is something I can't mention my source. Let me go here back on camera for a second. I can't mention my source because they asked me, they told me I do not have permission to share their name or screenshots or anything like that because of their profession. And also they just don't want to be mentioned. But what I was going to mention first is I was going to bring up the drugs. So I don't know how much they're spending on a month on drugs, but I do know this. Don lied. Don lied about how much, or Don lied, first of all, about their drug screens. They did not pass their drug screens. Okay. I know this for a fact. Chris McDonough knows this is a fact. I've never talked to him in my life, but he mentioned on his live that he knows what they failed for. He said he isn't going to mention it, but he knows what they failed for. He didn't say, he said they kind of bunched them together. So I guess he could say, I mean, they didn't fail for anything, but I know they did fail. It was mentioned part of it was mentioned they failed for, let me bring up I know they failed for crack cocaine, not cocaine, but crack cocaine. Now, I cannot tell you how they're able in a drug test to tell between cocaine and crack cocaine, but it was crack, and that stuff is extremely addictive and expensive because of the amount the high is so short, you have to keep doing it. So it's not like something you take a pill and you're high for 8 hours. It's very so let me go back here. Oh, but I will mention before I finish here, both of the I'm afraid I'm going to forget what I was going to say, but both have positive drug screenings for crack cocaine. Both of them, Candace and Dawn. There was something else here. They had also marijuana, but who cares about that? There was also something else here. Sorry, I need to read through this real quick to see what else they were positive for sure. Okay, this is what they tested positive for. Both of them tested positive for crack cocaine. They both tested positive for marijuana And Dawn also, just Dawn, tested positive for meth. Meth, crack, marijuana for Dawn. Candace, crack, marijuana. So if somebody comes on to a YouTube, where internationally people watch, even the law enforcement's probably watching, how are you going to go on there and say confidently that you've passed your drug screens, knowing that law enforcement can come on and be like, you're a fucking liar, dude? Maybe they know that, maybe law enforcement said, I don't know, to tell people whatever you wanted. I mean, because maybe law enforcement's just waiting, for them to hang themselves. But how can you confidently go on these YouTube channels and say this stuff when law enforcement knows differently, and it's going to come out eventually that you're a fucking liar? So if you can lie that you were clean on drug screens, what about the lie detectors? Did you lie about that too? Yes, you did. You lied. And let's see here. He did not pass the lie detector test. The test came back as non-conclusive for guilty knowledge test. That means they were using some kind of medication or sedative to trick the investigator administering the test. Both of them came back non-conclusive because for the guilty knowledge. That's what they came back positive for, or what they failed for on the test. They know what happened to Summer. Point blank, period. They know. And they used some type of medication according, I'm not going to say who, but a reliable source, that they use some type of medication or sedative, exact words, to trick the test. So it came back non-conclusive. I see somebody came on. By the way, Dawn and Candace did not pass their urine screens. They were dirty for both of them crack, both of them marijuana, and Dawn was also dirty for meth. Okay? I know this from a reliable source who told me I cannot share their name or their screenshots. Okay? I will just say they're in their field of profession gives them access to this type of information. Also, they did not pass their lie detector test. They're fucking liars. And I was just stating once again, how are they going to go on YouTube where they can be easily debunked by law enforcement, which they're going to be later on. It's going to come out that they were lying. But confidently, Don's coming on a YouTube channel saying that he passed urine screens and he passed lie detectors. No, they failed. They came back Non-conclusive, is that how it's stated? Let me find where in this conversation that it came back non-conclusive for the guilty knowledge test. They have knowledge of what happened to Summer. And the reason it came back non-conclusive is because we're using some type of medication or sedative to trick the investigator administering the tests. They know what happened to her. So if they know what happened, but they didn't come back non-conclusive for doing something specifically to her. So what did they, as far as like hurting her? I'd like to know the question specifically though. Did they ask, did you sell her into sex trade? Did you sell her for some other weird purpose used on the dark web? Like if you've watched that I shared earlier in this live, like Donna, the psychic Donna Serafina, who was correct about who was those? I don't know. The one that has the daughter named Tylee. Is her last name Bell or something? She was correct, and there's evidence out there, emails and stuff like that, where from 3 months before they were arrested, she was correct about their body being spread all over and whatever. She's saying that they sold her for a snuff film. Fucking sick. And that Candace gave Summer some type of medication. That's why it's so important to know what was filled that day, what prescription was filled that day. Did Candace give Summer some of that medication to ease the pain of whatever was to come that evening? What kind of sick monster are you that it doesn't like keep you up that it doesn't make you want to kill yourself for freaking selling your own child for some type of torturous reason, like either whether it is sex trade or some type of snuff video. How do you sleep at night? How do you go on? How do you party and drink all day? And what if it wasn't just so you could have like endless supply of drugs? Like, oh my God, dude, I would kill myself before I freaking I'm sorry, that's just so. As far as CPS, we're going to have some bombshells supposedly about that, but I hear my cat somewhere. I'm wondering if he's outside or if he's stuck in a room. I hear him meowing. But what I was told, we're going to get some bombshells, like probably next week, supposedly. They will not be getting the boys back, according to this person. Parent reunification is not on the parents' service plan. They're never getting the boys back. So if Summer is found, she is never going back to them, which is definitely the best anyways. Let's see what else here. Did not pass the lie detector test. TBI. TBI administered the test, not local. They're allowing them to hang themselves. They want them to continue talking. They are being tracked. There is nowhere they can run. The two younger brothers are together, and the oldest one's in a separate. They're in foster families. And they're never getting them back. And that if we are ever find out why they were removed specifically, we will be shocked. It's way worse than you can ever imagine, according to this source. Also, another more info that has not been out there. He had criminal charges that he had under an alias. They were found by and merged into his record with use of his fingerprints. How that happened, I don't know. I mean, it must have been old charges, because you can't get away with that these days anymore. I mean, because you always get when you get processed in, they take your fingerprints. So, and that's instant. They know. I mean, so it must have been old records. The children were removed under the parental child safety placement. That means you are not trustworthy to have minors around you. It is one of the worst levels in the removal status. We will see movement in the case next week from a source told me down there in, we'll just say Hawkins County. They have been under investigation for a while, and Candace was avoiding them because of the drug test. And the rumor regarding the kids that were scheduled to be removed on the day Summer went missing are false. She avoided them because she wanted to continue using drugs. By the way, when the kids were placed, the boys, there was nobody in the family that would take them. So, because there's not very many foster families in that area of Tennessee, and they tried to place them with part of their family, and nobody would take them. And I don't know. I mean, I imagine they're probably not the easiest kids to deal with because of the family they grew up in. But yeah. So yeah, that's my little tidbit. Let's see here what's going on, right? I thought I just saw something. Let's see what. No, we're gonna go watch that. Let's see if cool.
That didn't have.
Let's fast forward here.
So
let's see.
Anyhow, that is what I wanted to say.
Many years in maturity above his age, and I got, like I said, I got chills when I read this, and I had him. I did a whole dedicated broadcast for Trevor Lee, and that is in my. If you go to my Summer Wells playlist, it's in there. I mean, I'm almost compelled to play a little bit of it because he was sitting in his car, and he basically told me about his foundation that he started. It was based on a girl, a friend of his, that was murdered by her own father. And he started this foundation for domestic violence. And it's a nonprofit. And he started it based on the back of his friend who was murdered at the hands of her own father. So if for those of you who saw that interview that I did with Trevor Lee, let me know by putting a hands up in the chat if any of you here caught. I know a lot of my subscribers, a lot of my friends caught that video. It was just a very moving and compelling video. He was having trouble with his internet, and as you know, Dave, down there it's spotty on the internet.
At best.
Yeah, but at best. And Trevor hung in with me, and he was sweating. Sweat was coming down his brow, and he was like, "Duty Ron, I love what you and Dave Rader are doing and what everybody's doing." And I've communicated with him quite a bit, and he said when we make it down there, he wants to see. So quite a few hands are coming up. Jen Hale says she saw it. Carol saw it. Sam saw it. Everybody's saying thank you to Trevor. Welcome in from Sydney, Australia. Thank you so much. Trevor Lee is right here. There he is. Hey, Trevor, if I throw you out the link, would you join me and Dave? Dave, would you like to have Trevor come on?
Absolutely. I think that would be phenomenal.
Trevor, I'm going to share the link with you to your cell phone. If you can join us, I don't know if you can, but it would be beautiful to have you come on. I'm going to talk a little bit about how the community on YouTube is feeling about Don Wells in a few minutes. But before I do that, I'm going to try to get Trevor Lee on here. Let's see if Duty Ron can play some magic. Dave, let's talk about some of the challenges of what we have going on with not just Summer Wells, with the boys over in California and some of the other searches. It seems like we have so many different moving parts, like how when you're available, when I'm available, when Twyla's available. And we need law enforcement to be on the same page with us. Some people don't understand it. They think that just the family could say, "Oh, come on down," and it's not as easy as that. We kind of need law enforcement to give us the what do we want to call it? The blessing, so to speak, right?
Absolutely. I mean, here's the thing: is that we have, so many moving parts. And we all have jobs. We all have jobs that we have to go make money and bring home for families, for each of our families and to survive. So, I mean, it's not as easy as just, if I was fully retired and I had nothing else to do, this would be phenomenal. But the problem is that as much as I would love to do this full time, financially, it's just not going to happen. But again, we spend every waking moment juggling. It's a dance. It's a hand in glove. So I mean, it's not only okay, I'm good for this weekend. What about you? No, you can't. Well, then let's try to figure this out. So with so many people that are involved and so many people that are a part of this. Like I said, it's very difficult to sit there and put all of this together and do this the right way. I mean, we could sit there and say, let's just go search the woods and let's call it a day. But if you're not going to put some thought process in this, you're not going to be successful. That I can guarantee you. And everybody thinks, well, just walk.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to get off here, and I might do a separate video where I talk about the drug screen and the lie detectors, just so it's in a smaller portion, and because people aren't going to want to go through this video, and they're probably, I mean, since I'm a new creator, most people aren't going to get to that part if they even do see this video. So to get out that info, I need to make a small video, short video, where I just put that info in there. So thank you all for watching, and hopefully next time I'll have some interaction and people could come on. We could just talk. Because that's really what I wanted, was some type of feedback and opinions. So, but yeah, you all have a nice evening.